This is just a very quick guide to help you with the second anniversary tournament this upcoming weekend. This is meant to be very fast, so I'm just going to get right into things, just so that way this is just everything you need in fast and quick format. If you haven't checked out a lot of other people like Vampire Gaming, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people around the community about their videos on this, they're definitely going to go in a lot more in depth. I'm just going to try and give you the quick, fast, simple way of preparing for this if you don't have a lot of time. So let's get right into it. So this is the most important information. You're going to get 6 packs at this event. You're going to get a max of 4 restrictions, so you can only have 4 cards, like 4 Bond Clays if you had a normal deck. Same thing here. If you wanted to play like 4 Shanks, you'd only get 4. Good luck on getting 4, but you know, you got the gist. Your deck size can only be about 40 cards. So no more than that. Not usually like it's 50. You can have any leader. There's no color restriction as well, so you can pick, you know, Kid, and you can pick purple and green and blue. Any card can be in the deck. It doesn't really matter. But there are restrictions with those cards specifically that could stop you from using certain effects, like, you know, your leader being a straw hat and so forth. That does play into the effect. So be careful. There's a Rainbow Luffy that kind of plays around that, but check if you can use that. Not every local will allow that, at least in my experience. You'll also get a promo pack, which will have additional cards in it, and you get a blue Luffy. You can use those in the tournament, or at least they should be allowed, but that's about it. But we'll get into that later too. So how to prepare. So bring sleeves. A lot of people forget to bring sleeves, and you play with cards and you get some nice pull, and like an alt art, and then you're playing with it the whole time. Please bring sleeves or buy it from your local TC store. I suggest white or green dragon shields. No specific reason, just dragon shields are great, and usually for tournaments not having a lot of colored design is a good idea to stay focused. Bring a binder, yes. If you get an alt card that you want to save, just put it in the binder right away. Don't play with it. You can if you want to, not saying you don't have to, but if you're one of the people that, you no matter what, it's like, okay, immediately got to put that thing away, then, you know, bring your binder. Also bring your own Dawn. You're not going to get any Dawn in these packs, so pick one of your decks and grab your Dawn from it. All right, so let's get into the data. There's 4 wanted posters. There's 14 2K counters. There's 14 blockers, 2 vanillas, and I want to disclaimer here, it's really just the 7 to 9K power. 8 kaiju. I follow this other guy named Z-Kun who calls them kaiju. I kind of like that. But yeah, so 8 kaijus, like your big, like Shanks, your Blackbeard, and so forth. And then there's 5 SPs, which are a little different. So real fast about this too. Compared to other formats, this is a lot more counter and a lot more blockers than normal, and a very small amount of vanillas compared to 08 and 07's release. So keep that in mind while you're building your deck at the time. As you kind of sift through everything, there are other vanillas too. They're like 4, 6, 3, 5 vanillas. Those are all good ideas to put in the deck. Don't worry about that, and we'll also talk about that soon, but just keep this in mind. Remember this 14-14. I believe these numbers are correct. I've double checked them, but you know, I'm human. Let's go. So if you're lucky, let's talk about SPs. You get Bow, a perfect 6 on curve. You get to freeze a character. Rosinante is a good combo sum if you have a 5 cost that you find out of your commons. Monkey D. Dragon was a highlight, absolute highlight of the last format. Or the one before that, about playing. So that was wonderful to play him in that format for Monkey D. Dragon. He came out in 07, I'm pretty sure. I feel like I'm forgetting that incorrectly, but yeah, so Monkey Dragon, excellent card to have. So just keep that in mind. Now let's talk wanted posters. If you're going to play a wanted poster, only play Shanks, Luffy, and Blackbeard in that order. And also the SPs above, those 3 are the best 3. There are others for both of these categories, but they're really not going to help you. The Buggy will be really bad. It's just you're paying 10 for essentially a red rock. It won't stick on the field, so don't use that. And the others, like the Zorojuro or the Nami, really aren't going to help you. The Nami is a trigger. You have to discard a trigger. You're not guaranteed to get one in your hand. Don't think of it like a normal game. So quick tips. So don't play any searchers in the deck. It won't help you. It's honestly, unless you have to and they're like somehow a 1 cost 3,000 power, don't do it. So focus on bodies on board and removing. So focus building your board and removing your board. There's a lot of time for you to play this game. And many people make the mistake of just trying to swing on life. You're not guaranteed a trigger, your opponent's not, and they're not guaranteed a counter either of a 2K. Take your time, like I said. Aim to get 5K and 6K bodies with counter. create balance. Okay, so get your 5k, 6k bodies with the counter on them. Try to get 1k counter. Create balance of swinging and swinging for life. Don't just try to swing down for life. You won't win unless you play a specific type of strategy, which we'll get into later with Sanji. But please, please, please be careful about this. So this is your top priority right now. You want to get out of the kaijus Shanks #1, Roger, Luffy, Odin. That's the 9-cost Luffy, by the way. You could get the 10-cost SP, but forget about that. Odin, really good card. That actually is great, especially if you're on an on curve. Blackbeard, Dragon, and I hope to God I pronounce this right. Audio. Very good effect to help you like counter out of things, and this is why I suggest going into another guide as well. They'll really go into the reasons why it's good, or you can look up these cards, and you'll see in the next slide too. So MVPs, these are all the cards that are the MVPs of what you should be looking for. So you'll see you want blockers #1, #2, counters 2k. They're not really listed here, but I took as many pictures from this list and I put them on here. You have Shanks up in the top left. Roger, same thing. Luffy, there's the 9 costs right below him. Robin is below that. Great card. Remove a life if your opponent has 3 more life. Odin, great, has double attack, 9 cost. I believe has an on KO effect. You draw 3 cards, I think it says right there. But Blackbeard's great blocker. Mihawk, you could combo summon from Crocodile. Also, Mihawk is just like a blocker and draws cards, so you get a cycle. Ben Beckman, great. Croc package is good, as I just said. Sanji is that 7/7, the purple one on the far right. It's a rush, you minus Dawn, get to rest an opponent's character. Could end the game for you and win you the game. Howling Gap, this is where the vanillas are, so that's that 5/7 in the middle of the screen at the top with the red. That's really good. Gum Gum Giant is really, really good. Great cycle, great counter. Remove a Dawn, or Dawn -2, and you get its effect. That'll help you late in the game. Gum Gum Lightning's your removal. That's a great event as well. Rayleigh is also really solid as a blocker and cycle. And then there's that Monkey D Dragon that we spoke about before, the SPs and audio. So really suggest all of these. That Brook is also really great because you can summon it and you can minus, I think it's like target 2 characters when attacking, minus 3k on both. That's really good to use. And then for your leaders. So these are the top suggested leaders I would go with. Kid, Bonnie, Sanji, Shanks, Yamato, Zoro, Robin. I would kind of do it in that order. Like, I'm going to play Bonnie typically. I may play Kid because I just never done it. Shanks is a great option if you pull him or if you can get him in any capacity. The top 3 are easy. You know, you can win with all of them. You don't have to have a lot of experience. Kid might be a little bit more difficult to play as than the rest, but you should have an easier time with these 3 than the rest. So if you are just like not happy with your cards, honestly, I would just go with Kid or Bonnie. Specifically Kid. If your cards are really bad, just go with Kid, because he can just like win you the game alone. Bonnie's great if you get like, okay, I've got some good cards. I got some of the MVPs from the last slide. Great. And then the bottom 4 with Sanji, Yamato, Zoro, and Robin. This is where you're getting into what cards did I get specific category. So Sanji is cool because when you activate main, you can give one of your 8 or less rush, but it can't have an on-play effect. And there's a lot of on-play effects, I'll be honest. So if you get a lot of vanillas, great. This actually might be a really good option. Say you got like Monkey D Dragon, a bunch of vanillas. He could be like a specific win situation. And he essentially does what Kid does with like that extra swing each turn, but you're also building a body, so it's complicated in that matter. You have to find a good balance. I think playing Sanji in this will be the highest level of like skill because you have to balance with what you get. And then Yamato, I can't. It's on the list. I know it's a good card. There's so many blockers and counters. And it's just gonna stop Yamato. Its effect is great with giving 2 rest to Dawn if your opponent has 3 or less life. But being honest in this situation, I feel like you'll do yourself a disservice if you end up playing Yamato. And if your opponent has a ton of blockers, you're just gonna get beat with that. But it's still good. It's not bad. It's just, if you with this at event, there's some serious prizing, so you may want to pick one of the easier leaders above. Zoro's a good bet, and Nico Robin's kind of the up-and-coming one where it can ramp every turn. If you trash a trigger from your hand, you can add it. You're not guaranteed triggers again, so, you know, I don't recommend it, but, you know, some people are talking about it, just so you know. Just keep it out there. And then let's get into the prizing, because we're getting to the end of this. You get these all three of them too, second anniversary leaders. So these are going to be probably pretty expensive considering it's a winter prize, especially the Luffy, since it's such a top tier deck. So if you win, congratulations, this is your prizing. Participation wise, if you lose, hey, don't worry, you get a cooldown and you get a second anniversary promo pack, as well as this promo Manga D Luffy, which, you know, is given out in most events, but still cool to have. But yeah, that's essentially everything. They're all opinion based. This is just what I think going into this weekend. I hope this really helped anyone who gets a hold of this video. That way you can do your best. I don't want to see anyone, you know, continuously swinging for life and then I'm just, you know, swinging on board. You just end up losing to yourself at that point. That's why I wanted to build this guide. And I've been watching a lot of others which are really comprehensive, but this is meant to be a short, fast guide, and that's why I'm talking really fast. So, last slide, by the way. If you get a manga, go home. You already won. Just saying, if you get Gold D. Roger and you continue to play, I'm going to look at you with such... I'm just going to say you're the sin of greed. No, I mean, obviously it's your money. You can do whatever you want, but if you got a manga, go home. You already won. Like go have a party. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and appreciate any sort of feedback on this as well. More to come. I'm big into One Piece now. I absolutely love it. Way too financially involved now. But yes, GG's.